5, 6, 7, 8. It's a mess, sis. Oh, it's a mess.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. It's a mess, sis. So, what exactly is a mess? A mess is a situation or a state of affairs that is confused or full of difficulties.
The mess is when things don't go the way you plan. It is when you have to go off script, improvise, ad-lib, sit through the awkwardness, and breathe through the pain until you come out on the other side, because you will come out on the other side. It is everything that makes life interesting and transformative. It is what we are here to do. It is how we learn how to be.
So join us as we dive into this week's mess.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to It's a Mess, Sis, my favorite podcast. I'm Jess, working through the mess, and I am so glad you came back to hang out with us again.
Hey everyone, I'm Rena. I am your other host, and I too am a mess, and I'm just taking it one day at a time, and I'm excited to be here and to dig down this topic.
Yes, and that topic is, you're actually joining us for episode 65, and that topic is use your heart and not your eyes, making self-honoring decisions. I love that title. Come on.
Thank you, and
Come
SWV, you know?
Oh, SWV. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, sing it.
Oh my
'Cause
gosh.
I don't know that
You're
one.
the singer. Remember, I told you I don't sing.
You do
It's like,
say that.
use your heart and not your eyes.
Come on,
Maybe
Reed.
just relax your, you know.
Hey, okay.
Okay.
Hadn't heard that one,
It's
but
on
that's
Spotify,
dope. Come on, Spotify. Come on, sponsor us.
Right? Because all of our titles are song lyrics.
They are.
I don't know if people know that about us. I mean,
well, sometimes they're not, but mostly.
we've been pretty consistent. Okay, yes, mostly.
Mostly.
We can make it all the time, you know.
We can. That'd be our shtick.
Yeah.
Ah.
Ah.
Such a weirdo. All right. You guys are joining us for episode 65. But before we dive into the full episode, we have a little segment called What's the Mess? So I'm going to ask Rena, what is your mess?
My mess is that I have a lot of decisions to make.
Yeah.
Society's caving in, and the world is going to hell with fire draws on. And my money is disappearing.
Yeah.
If I had any to begin with.
Damn.
And oddly, with all of that, I'm in a good mood, and it's just fascinating.
In a good mood.
Yeah,
hey, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's like that meme where like there's that.
He's on fire. He's on fire.
He's like just chilling.
He's like, everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine. Literally, that's me.
Wow.
Everything's fine.
Okay. Well, I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know what to say in this moment. Should I say, I'm glad that you feel fine, or should I say you should get help so that you can feel the fire?
Why would I want to feel that?
No,
I have dissociated from my existence.
Right, but just dissociating doesn't help. For real.
It doesn't?
No, it doesn't, because there's still the fire.
I'm safe there.
You're not, because because if we're talking about
my soul has retreated.
But your body's still here, and it's gonna be burnt up.
That's what's tying me to this place. So,
your soul is free. Come on, freedom. Okay, well, I don't know how to feel, but I'm gonna let you have it. I'm glad that you're feeling all right about it.
Right, like I'm feeling good. I mean, my therapist is coming back from her vacation.
Oh, nice.
Someday. I don't know when, but I'm sure I'll have a session.
Promising.
Yeah.
You
know?
I need to get a therapist. Sorry, is there more to your mess?
Nope, because I'm not here.
She said, I do not feel none of this shit. I'm just telling you facts, but I feel none of it. I fucking feel that. I mean, I don't feel that, but I feel you. And I feel that for you. I'm feeling all my shit.
Oh, man.
And that's my mess.
Dissociate.
Oh, wow. This is the advice we're giving. Lord have mercy. Okay. No, my mess is that I feel a little out of whack. And I'm trying to get back into some semblance of normalcy. I feel like I do need a therapist, honestly.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot going on, and a lot of parts of my being is being not attacked, but tried, I think.
Okay.
So one part is that my income has been affected significantly. I think you were just saying this, like money is crazy. These past few months have been like so weird. It hasn't affected my ability to pay bills, but my surety in what I expect in that money department has been shaking.
Yeah.
And that's not the only thing that's throwing me off, but I know that's a big part of feeling just a little wonky because now I too also need to make decisions, and I'm just confused, for lack of a better term, about what to do. And it's not just money. It's not just, living. It's like relationship. It's like, and not even just not even romantic necessarily. It's like friendships and familial relationships that I just am like, I feel maybe I have dissociated a bit. I feel like out of sorts. I feel fucking out of sorts. And I know that, Mercury is in Gatorade, blah, 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 all this stuff. I realize, but it's like, damn, is this shit affecting me like that? Because I feel so out of it. I'm like, I don't know how to get back into it, or even if I want to. That'd be the scary part. It's like, do I want to dive back in? It's like, okay, I need to work on my credit. I need to work on retirement. I need to go make all these doctor's appointments. I need to work on my crafts. I need to blah, 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 fucking blah. It's like, it never fucking ends. It never fucking ends. And I'm just like, what the entire fuck? I'm sick of it. I want to go back to being a kid where I didn't have to think about this shit. But it's like, I have to. Then the state of the world is on fucking fire. You got mass shootings left and right. You have wars. You have fucking inflation out the ass. Nobody's trying to pay you to actually do that. I'm like, are they moving us?
Wages.
They need to inflate these wages, and they're not. And so that, just everything is like, everything is wild right now.
Yeah, the American dream is crumbling. And I'm going to tell you this. They don't want me to get comfortable with being homeless. And second of all, death can be a retirement plan.
Rena Smith. What the entire fuck? Ma'am, is this not a Grace and Ease podcast? That bitch said death is retirement.
And that's Grace and Ease right there, the ultimate.
Okay, kind of high key.
Yeah.
But no.
But like, in all seriousness, because I actually am trying to become a therapist. Come see me. You said something, you're like, you just want to go back to being a kid. We don't have to worry about this. Maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe you need to just be still. Maybe you need to not think about all those things right now, because if you can't do anything about it, you can't change it right now. You can't even make a decision on it right now. What's the point in bombarding yourself with those things and those thoughts?
True, but I also fear, this is my ultimate fear, honestly.
Okay.
Is that I say fuck all this shit, because I am.
When you say that, what do you mean?
When I say always teetering on fuck that shit, I am so close to fuck that shit.
Like homicidal?
I don't want to implicate myself on this podcast.
Okay.
But I just want you to know that there are many things that I am teetering on the edge of fuck that shit. Because it's like a lot. Like adulting, people be doing the memes and the jokes and shit. And high key is funny because it's true, but also it's like it's never fucking ending. If I get my life right, let's say I do everything perfectly. I eat well in the next 6 months. I exercise every day. I drink the proper amount of water. I get the proper amount of nutrients. My credit is on point. I get the job of my dreams. I save, whatever is you're supposed to save in this time. Whatever doing adulting well looks like. Let's say I do that for 6 months. Well, let's say I do it for a year. Let's say I fall off after that year. For however long, that year doesn't matter. You have to keep this shit up forever. And that shit
retire.
Is by death, Rena. Cut it out. Cut it fucking out. You're so ridiculous. No, but I'm just saying, like, you have to continue. doing the adulting thing. You have to continue being on it for your workout. You have to continue being on it for your eating well, your nutrients, your mental health, your physical health, your financial health, your spiritual health, like all these things. It's a never ending. I could do such a good job, and I've done a good job for a lot of this shit for years, months, day, whatever. And then when I'm tired and you fall off, and now the pick back up is like so much because now I gotta pick back up. Then I'm doing it and I'm doing it and I'm doing it. Wow, whatever. Hey. But you know what I'm saying? It's like it's so much. Adulting is so much. I'm fucking sick of it. Sick of it. And that's my mess.
I think that's everybody's mess.
Man, okay.
And all I could say, you could just throw out these words like balance, but you still have to implement it. I think just like you said, grace. I think you got to give yourself grace. I think sometimes when we fall off the wagon or fall off the plan, we're like, I'm not being a good adult, and then just kind of like fuck it. And I think sometimes you have to give yourself grace and say, okay, hey, maybe I didn't eat well today, but you know what? I took my vitamins today. Like, I'm still on track.
Yeah.
It's so easy to look at everything you feel like you should be doing and ignoring the things that you are doing.
True. It's just, I feel like the thing of it is that surviving isn't seen as enough.
I mean, do you want it to be enough? Is surviving enough for you?
No, it's not enough. It's never enough. Because I've been told that thriving is where it's at.
But what do you personally want?
I want to not be thinking about this shit. I want my day-to-day to be fucking automated like a robot. I don't want to think about this shit. I don't want to feel shit. I want to just wake up.
You want to dissociate.
I do, Rita, but it's not healthy.
Who said that? Some white man who was hopped up on opiates?
So many people, Rita, have said that dissociative identity disorder is a disease. It's a mental health disorder.
So I could just like tap out when I'm tired and have another personality hop in?
Yikes. Do not let her come on the podcast or him. Whoever you decide to let take over. Do that on the 2 weeks that you have off. When it's time to come back on the podcast, please bring her back. Tell me what the word is or the bell or whatever to bring you back. That's all I need to know. What you doing your off time, that's up to you, baby.
Oh my.
I'm weak. But yeah, that's the mess. I mean, I'm exaggerating for the sake of entertainment. I'm okay.
Are you?
Yes, because I am okay. There are a lot of things that I'm doing really well. I have a lot of stuff going for me. I'm really grateful for, and I like to bring it back to this because I know I could spiral, honestly. But I am grateful. I have a roof over my head. I'm able to afford that. I still have a job that I can go to and make money to pay the bills. It's not enough to do what I want to do, which is travel to my family, blah blah blah, all these kind of things. But I do have it. I'm in a play. So I'm able to do my art. So it's like there are some things that are going really well, and I want to acknowledge those things and be grateful to those things and accept and expect those to come more in abundance. But yeah, sometimes I'm just overwhelmed by the thought that I have to take care of myself for the rest.
Yeah.
I'm just like, damn. And my mama tapped out early. Like, I feel like that's not fair.
Damn. I know, right?
You tapped out early, and I needed you for at least 10 more, 20 more. Some goddamn, now I got to do this shit by myself. Shit fucked up. You heard me.
I get it. Trust me, I get it.
Exactly.
But I think when we feel like this, my life coach, when I had one, was always, she would say, just be still. And I'm like, I have shit to do.
How? Right.
But honestly, sometimes if you be still and you kind of just, let it wash over you.
Yeah.
Once her Mercury retrograde is over, once all the intensity and the pain and the shock of it has kind of just passed you by, then you can come out of it a little bit clearer, a little bit calmer, so you can make a better decision on how to proceed. And that leads us into our topic, right?
Yes, which, if you remember, is use your heart and not your eyes, making self-honoring decisions. So why did we choose this topic, Rita?
Because decisions are something I can't escape. They
Ugh,
keep coming up. And
always.
so since it seems like it's going to be a constant, it's a given. I want to figure out how to make them well and make them for me,
Yeah.
really. So when I'm not dissociating and I'm present,
Uh-huh.
I want to be able to make decisions that honor myself so I can retreat and just kind of put my life on autoplay and watch from like behind my eyes.
I'm weak. Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I agreed because I feel like I'm having trouble making decisions in these last few years.
Mm.
And
Huh.
I thought it would be interesting to dig down, what's going on. So,
That's interesting.
yeah, I feel like
That's
yeah, it's changed over time.
I feel like, I don't know. I guess from the outside looking in, I feel like you've made some good decisions, but
Thank you.
um,
It's just a place of where because when we talked about it being either a mind decision or a heart decision, and so those things have kind of swapped over the years. So I think I feel like I've been making good decisions, but sometimes it comes from different places. So we'll get into that, but before we do, let the people know what the agenda is for the episode.
so the agenda is the dick. As
Dick.
always, we're going to give you the dick, which stands for define, impact, and cope. So
Hmm.
specifically for this episode, we define what a decision is and
Hmm.
how we go about making them. We're going to kind of explore the whole mind heart thing.
Yeah.
Um, then we get to the impact of making decisions or not making them in our lives. And lastly, we discuss how we cope from here on out. Do we keep doing what we're doing or do we make changes? We make each section clearly known so that you can follow along with us and have this conversation with us, with others, or just with yourself. So feel free to pause throughout where you see fit to give yourself time to write, journal, or just reflect, or just keep listening. Do what feels right for you.
That was lovely. Thank you so much. And so now we are to the definition. And so I chose to define decision. And according to our homegirl, the big G, Google,
Go
I
Geisha.
just go Geisha. Come on, go Geisha. That's hilarious. A decision is a conclusion or resolution reached after consideration. So then I asked myself, um, is the decision or the consideration for that decision coming from my mind or my heart? When it comes to decisions about something practical, my money, my safety physically, that's very easily something that would be considered in my mind. I'm like, girl, recalculating. I can do that very easily. Now, when it comes to people or something of sentiment, I have often used my heart. But as I've gotten older, I found that some of those decisions made with my heart have hurt a lot more. And I have kind of started making a lot more, or at least most of my decisions with my mind.
Oh,
So, yeah, that is where I am.
interesting.
Uh huh.
Yeah,
And yourself, mademoiselle?
yeah. Before I, go too far
Questions?
off with that. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm
Okay.
gonna do my definition first. So
Okay.
I don't use Google or any of that.
Hmm.
I just kind of feel what I think it is for me. So I went about it in two ways. I defined a decision, and I also defined self-honoring.
Oh, okay.
So for decision, I said it's making a choice or selection that will
Hmm.
finalize something. So or taking a firm stance on something.
Hmm.
It's to me, it's a stabilizing action. I mean, but even though it's stabilizing, it seems finite. I do feel like they can be changed, but it's more like a firm choice that you're making.
Okay.
Um, the self honoring piece, I feel like self honoring is an action that is taken with great consideration for your personal truth and the
Okay.
impact on yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, and the like. So when you
Hmm.
put them together, a self honoring decision for me is a finalizing stance or choice with consideration for your best interest first and foremost, aka choosing what is true for you.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like you have questions.
No,
Go
I
on
was
and
just
ask them.
I mean, I always have questions, but I was also thinking about, I wasn't expecting you to say that when you made a decision from your heart that it hurt more.
Yeah.
I mean, but I get it too. But then also it seems like you were deterred by that, and that you feel like it's kind of pushed you to make more mind-based, logical decisions.
Absolutely. I feel like my heart has betrayed me. A bunch. This
Wow.
bitch is weak. I am a very sensitive human being. I know that I don't know if I've said this before on the podcast, but I have always been a very sensitive being. My outward appearance, my outward antics, all of those things are very rough. I'm also a very rough person. I like to tumble. I would love to wrestle. I do like to tussle. I do. It's fun. You know, in for those who are like wanting to tussle with me, Rena knows I like to wrestle. I like to just be, I'm a physical person. So sometimes that comes off, and I'm assertive and maybe aggressive to a certain extent. So that seems, I think, very calloused and very hard. And in some regards, yes, but I'm very delicate and I'm very sensitive. And when I allow my heart to be its fullest, truest self, I just want to give. I just want to be there. I just want to take care of you. I just want to nurture you. I just want to see the best in you. I just want to, what do you need? What do you need from me? What can I do to make your dreams come true? Type ass nigga. And a lot of times, a bitch has been hurt.
So it seems like it's very like relationship based. But what
of course, because
about
all of my heart decisions are based on that. Like when I'm making decisions about like my finances or like my safety, oh no, very practical. Very no, you need to do this, you need to do that, boom, 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 and that's it.
What about your decision to move to LA? Was that a mind decision or a heart decision?
The universe first forced my ass to come here. So that was honestly, that was a mind decision. Like my heart told me to go home to Georgia. Oh. My heart said, go home. It's safe. You have family. Or maybe that was my mind.
I need you to figure out who's speaking to you.
No, I feel like
tells me that
I feel like it was practical decision to go home. I feel like it was practical.
So that was a mind
So maybe
decision.
It was my mind decision. That was a mind decision. My heart has always been in California. I've always wanted to be here. I applied for school out here. I got accepted to University of Southern California, I think. And you know, my mind made a decision to stay in Georgia for school and blah 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 blah. So my heart has always been out here. I think that was a hard decision,
so
but forced.
Okay, I get that, but like, how do you feel about that decision so far?
At this moment,
okay.
Oh God, no! I still think it was a great decision.
Okay,
I'm not gonna lie.
Because I was gonna say we broke everywhere.
That's true, but I wasn't gonna say. I didn't say that all of my heart decisions are horrible, but enough of them to be like, maybe we should check in with the heart and see if she's okay. That bitch seems sick. Cause like, really, ho? You out here trying to love everybody? Ew. You know, type shit. I mean, not for real, but it's just still so soft. I be trying to let her come out. I be trying to let her peek and see the sunlight. Then she want to come out and be doing some real impractical shit. And I'm like, we can't do that. That hurts. Okay. You didn't remember that from last time? This bitch don't have a brain. So she don't remember. She don't recollect.
Okay. No, I get that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I also feel like there's advantages. So, you know, because when you were in that heart space, you made that heart decision initially, in the beginning and throughout, you know, before the ending, how did you feel?
My mind is ever present. So the problem I feel like is that my mind be knowing that the heart is making questionable decisions.
Or is the mind interfering in the heart's affairs and messing shit up?
I don't know, but it be ending, and the heart be sore, and the mind be like, told you, and I'd be like, right.
Well, it sounds like the mind is really invested in the heart's downfall. Then
no, the
that
mind
told you
is
so.
Protective. The mind is protective.
Is it mind or ego?
Ooh. I don't know. That's a different conversation for a different day. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
was not
I
expecting
mean,
this to go here. But
I know. I mean, I think the thing for me is that my heart, no matter how many times it gets hurt, is still just as sensitive. I have all these protectors up and these things and whatever, but as soon as I give the heart a chance to make a decision, she just flies
because
to
she
the
want to feel.
nearest
She want to feel.
dumbass, feeling ass, bitch ass decision. I'd be like, bitch, get your ass back here. I gotta snatch her up all the time. It's ridiculous. But we'll get into the impacts and stuff later. I want to know. Okay, wait. Did you have more questions? Because
Yeah, I didn't even ask
okay,
any of the questions that I
okay,
had.
go ahead. Ask your
So,
questions.
okay, I'm gonna ask this. I mean, no, I'm gonna scratch that one. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask this one. Okay, so
Okay.
from where do you feel like you learned how to make decisions? Do you feel like it was something in your life that was taught to you? Do you feel like it's something that needs to be learned and practiced?
Yes, absolutely. I feel like my mom was a very practical human being. So I feel like I made a lot of decisions like how she would have, based on what made sense. She was very much everything needs to have its place and in the home. So toys put away, shoes go here, keys go here. And I still live my life like that. And I think that definitely weighed in on how I make decisions. Does this have a place? Can it go here? Da 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 da. Can I make sense of it? And I'm very logical in general, like just
Hmm.
how I think about things. I think about them logically, and I'm like, oh, that doesn't, does it fit into the puzzle pieces? Blah blah blah. Now my heart, I don't think you can teach heart. I don't think you can teach emotions necessarily. Um, and I mean, I don't know, maybe my mom was a very like giving human being. And we talked about this kind of in some of our, what did our mother give us as gifts and stuff. And so,
Hmm.
um, a lot of those just wanting to take care of people's, I just saw her taking care of people, and I saw her taking care of me. And honestly, I like how that felt, like, and I want people to feel that type shit. So I don't know. I feel like, we do learn our decision making skills from patterns of people around us. So, my parents and how they made decisions, whether good or bad. Some decisions that I saw my father making made me say, okay, I'm not going to make those decisions, or I won't make decisions that way.
Okay.
So, I think
So,
that's how. What about you?
I feel like I probably learned how to make decisions from observing my mother,
Hmm.
um, seeing how she moved. Um, but one thing I feel like I was missing, or something that
Hmm.
I've had to learn myself, and maybe that's just something you learn as you become an adult,
Hmm.
is how to make specific decisions for me.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like, I was taught to make general decisions.
Okay.
And some people, what I consider general or common knowledge decisions, some people don't have that. You
Right.
know, like decisions about finances.
Hmm.
You know, my mother would be like, okay, if it's okay to carry some credit. Carry a balance. Make sure you make a decision to pay
Hmm.
that monthly payment or more,
Hmm.
every month. Don't be late. Some people
Yeah.
don't get that guidance.
Yeah.
They can't make that decision because they
Hmm.
don't have that knowledge. So
Yeah.
I think I'm with you on that. It's really about what you're exposed to.
Hmm.
But I don't know if anybody kind of sat down and said, hey, let's talk about how you make decisions for yourself. Like, how do you
Yeah.
process the world around you? How do you take the knowledge and the observations that you've accumulated over the years and use that to make your decision?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's little conversations that I think like my mom would have with me about like making up my mind for myself. I remember one time, and I don't know what happened or why this was a conversation that she felt she needed to have with me, but she was like, if I'm upset with somebody, you don't have to be upset with them.
Oh, wow.
They didn't do anything to you. And I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense to me. So I think it's like little conversations like that that gives you the validation of your own brain, of your own feelings. And that's why even in my adult life now, if I have a friend that has a beef with someone else, unless it's like they try to kill them or something like that, that's not my beef. You know, I don't feel the need to say I'm angry with this person now. I can acknowledge that, you know, maybe they did something fucked up like them, but I'm not about to hold that anger in that space. Maybe I may not talk to you, you know, but I'm not going to be the type of person that's like, oh, my best friend mad at you. Oh, I don't like you neither. That's never
I don't
been
like
my
that.
space. And, you know, I was appreciative of my mom opening my eyes to that. And so it's things like that that I feel like gave me the autonomy to have my own thought processes and saying like, oh, this is my thoughts. I don't have to have my mom's thoughts or anybody else's thoughts. Like I'm allowed to be, you know, me, whatever I think about it. So it's little things like that. Maybe not a direct conversation to say like, hey, you can make your own decisions, but some little things like that.
I feel like that's like missing.
Yeah.
Like
You feel like we should
everywhere.
have those conversations.
We should have those
Like
conversations.
you can make your own decision.
Right. And I feel
Yeah.
like sometimes parents are afraid to have that conversation because what happens if your kid questions the decision
Your
that you've
authority.
made and
Yeah.
your authority, you
Yeah.
know? And so, yeah,
I mean, I feel like you start them off in conversations, and this is me being not a parent at all,
yes.
but just learning from my own parent and seeing other parents kind of do this thing. It's just giving them autonomy in the space that is safe for them. Like, okay, you can make a decision here. Here's some decision in your clothes. Okay. Like parents letting their kids pick out, okay, these are your outfits for today. What do you want to choose? It's up to you. What do you want to wear? Or if your kid picks out something utterly ridiculous, you just say bet, because that is not going to harm them. That doesn't undermine your authority as their parental figure to let them choose their outfit of the day, however ridiculous. I want, and, you know, maybe not two left shoes because that might actually hurt their feet or something. But if they want to wear polka dots and stripes and a yellow hat and a tutu, then you let them, because that is an expression of themselves and that's how they feel that day. That's not going to hurt you. It's not going to harm the society. That doesn't, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. So I think you build them up in the choices that are age appropriate. That's the word I'm looking for.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, I think that's like a really good approach. And
Yeah.
I wish I've seen that, but I feel like, I mean, maybe it's more common now. I hope it is.
I hope so too.
You know, because I think autonomy is a huge thing in decision making.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's not always the case in a lot of people's decisions. That like kind of focusing on yourself and making that decision by yourself.
Yeah.
Yourself.
Yeah.
I get, you know, wanting to get input and knowledge, but I also feel like sometimes people don't sit with themselves long enough to really ask themselves how they feel about something, what they think about something, and make a decision from there.
Right.
You know, I think we get caught up in, oh, well, my mom would have done this, or my dad would have done this, or this is what we've always done.
Right.
This is what the collective of Black people do. We don't do that. So I'm going to decide not to do this, even though I may be interested.
Yeah.
So one more question before we move on to the impact.
Okay.
And I mean, actually, maybe it's an impact question. What do you feel like how life would be if without decisions, like if we didn't make decisions?
Amazing. Utterly amazing. I feel like, because I used to be thinking about this back in the day, right? When I was thinking about us being made, this is when I was being raised in church. I used to be so pissed. I'm like, why would God give us choices? This shit is fucking dumb.
Why would God give you free will?
Why? Why would you give me free will? If you want me to walk the right path, put me on the path and let me go. Boom. Make it a track, send me on my way, call it a day. I feel like life would be dope. Life would be dope. I don't have to make no decisions. I just boop, boop, boop. I mean, I say that. And on the one hand,
it sounds horrible, actually.
It sounds amazing.
I was with you.
On the other hand, it sounds awful.
It does. Like, I'm like,
on
so you just want your life to be automated.
Boy, yes, I'm not even gonna lie. Yes, sometimes I wish that I didn't have to think about this shit because I'm like, I have to make every decision. It's not even like we just have to. Okay, you remember those books where it was like choose your own ending?
Mm-hmm.
Where it was like some of it was written and then you get to this place like, oh, choose this or this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, cool. I can do that. A little 1-2 choice. But no, every single thing I do when I open my fucking eyes is a decision.
It is.
Am I going to get out of bed? Am I going to lay in the bed? Am I going to go pee because I have to? Am I hold it a couple minutes longer? Am I snooze the alarm? I'm going to go ahead and get up. Am I going to shut the blinds? Am I open the blinds? Am I going to wear this today? Am I going to brush my teeth for 5 minutes or 3 minutes? Am I going
and you're making that decision every day? Like, at what point does it stop being a decision you have to make and it becomes a routine?
I mean, it's still a decision, Rena. Right?
I mean,
it's still a decision.
But you know, it's like you can narrow it down to okay.
I was on a routine of going to,
or I'm going to decide to not follow my routine.
It's still a decision,
right? But it's not like, am I going to get up? Or am I lay down for a few minutes? Am I gonna go pee? I'm gonna pee on myself. You know,
not pee on myself. I said hold it. But no, I mean, yes, to a certain extent, some things do become automated, like waking up. You know, you can't help that. You just wake up. Right? I didn't have to decide on that. Well, mostly.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Okay. The night before.
No, but mostly you don't have to make those decisions. There's some things that are just automated, okay?
Okay.
But some things.
But I feel you though.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a
you know,
stack of things that you have to decide every day.
Okay.
You have to decide every day if you're going to be who you innately are. And who I innately am does not want to fucking work. But who I intellectually am wants to work all the time because I need money. So I have to decide every day who's going to win. And mostly the intellectual bitch because I like to eat and I like to be safe in my humble abode, you know, type shit.
Okay.
But it's a decision every day to wake up and participate in this bullshit ass society. And I just imagine that if my life were automated, how much ease I would have because I don't have to think about anything other than just doing my path. I'm just doing my path. Doing what I'm supposed to do.
Okay, so are we conscious when we're on the path, or we're kind of like squirrels and shit, just kind of running and just kind of doing things on autopilot? Because
how do we know they're not fucking conscious? Just because they're not think like we do.
That is true. They could be thinking, "Yo, y'all stupid. Y'all ain't got to do all that."
Look at these motherfuckers out here working for money when God put food on the earth. Dumb. Right. That's what I think.
Look at all this protein all around. These worms and things that you can dig up out the ground. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, worms might be fire.
They might be fire.
Have you ever? Did you read that book, How to Eat Fried Worms? Mm-mm. It made me want to. Anyway,
okay. I get it. I get wanting things to just be smooth and easy. But that's it's kind of the way I see like being an entrepreneur versus working a regular job, right?
See, because entrepreneur, I never. When you hear me, when I say never,
but think about it. When you're an entrepreneur, listen then. When you're an entrepreneur though, like there's no cap on how much you can make. It's really about the decisions you make to build your business, to build the life you want, right? When you're an employee, it's automated.
Yeah.
And there's a set amount of money, there's a cap.
Right.
So when I think of it that way, I'm like, do I want the decisions? Do I not want the decisions? I'm like, over here, I can make decisions and I can, go to the moon. Here, I can, even if I decide to make some little bit of decisions within this realm, then I'm still capped. I'm not going to make more money. I may try to do things to get more satisfaction, but it's really just capped to this job, this position, just this trajectory.
Right. I get it. Like, being that I am a creative human being, the way that I think, I do want to create.
decisions,
but
creating.
the thing of it is like when I think about if
Ladies,
we
knuckles
had
are so strong right now. You're just like, when I think
when
about
I think about
think
it,
about
no,
it,
when I think
about it.
No, when I think about it, I think about it in the sense of like you would be on the path that's like your destiny, and I would be in a creating path. Would that be decisions I have to make? Sure, I guess. Yeah, I would still have to make decisions, but it wouldn't be like bullshit decisions, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I would want to have just one trajectory, because then it might feel, I guess, depending on how we feel. If we felt like how we feel now, it might feel stifling to be like, I'm only on this path. This is the only path that I can be on. There are no other decisions that I can make that could waver the path. And if you're on a path that you hate, that would suck.
Yeah, you just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people are on that path and don't
Path that they hate.
realize, and don't realize they can make decisions
Yeah.
to get on the path they want to be on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, that was an interesting question.
yeah.
I was so strongly about it, but I don't know
You
if I
were
would
real
want
strong.
no. I don't know if I would want no decisions.
Okay.
But maybe if we could limit them.
I think that's a really good point, because I had a question of like, what do you think is like the key to making good decisions? And my answer was going to be that limiting your decisions. I think sometimes we have too many options.
I always hated going to restaurants with a huge menu.
Oh my gosh, those 3
because the trouble
like Cheesecake
is
Factory. We only want the bang bang coconut shrimp. Like, just take everything.
Ooh, that sounds good. But the thing for me is that I want everything.
Okay, so
everything sounding good.
Do you really want everything though, or is some of it influencing? Some of these things are things you think you want to have, but you may not want it. Like, do you really want everything?
Maybe not everything, but a lot.
Okay.
I'll be wanting a lot. I'll be like, okay. And that's the thing too. It's like what I want to do in my day, the energy that I actually have time for, the money that I actually have time for, the space in my brain that I actually like, can I afford to get all of these things with my budget? And I'm saying budget with my time, my space, my energy, blah, blah, blah. Can I afford all of that? It's like going to the restaurant and seeing 10 entrees that look good. This is why you go with friends that all want to try different shit, and you get to try everything. That's the best way to do it.
You just said something.
Did I have an epiphany?
Yes.
Did you? Did I?
You said that's why you go to the restaurant and everybody orders something different, and then that way you can experience everybody's dish without you necessarily having to commit and make a decision and plot to get all of these dishes. I mean, you can do it on your own and go to the restaurant like every day for 10 days or so 10 times. Ask for help. We gotta work together. We gotta work as a group. Like we do it now with Netflix. Like, it's like, hey, you got Hulu, I got Netflix. Like, put me on your profile. Give me a profile. True. Okay. Throw me a password.
Throw me your password for real. Right. Okay. So then let's get back into the impact then.
Okay, we already there though. We there.
Okay.
We in it.
Let's dive in. I'm about to dive in. Okay. The impact of making what you saying?
Don't worry about it.
I didn't say it.
I said it in my head.
Okay. The impact of making decisions mostly with my mind is that it takes a lot of the feeling out of my actions. And I oftentimes don't feel the consequences of that decision until like a later time. And then I'm like, oh, that actually made me sad. Or, oh, I was actually happy doing that. Or whatever the adjoining like emotion that was attached. And I feel like I can appear unfeeling to those who love me or are close to me. The impact is that I'm trying to re-engage my heart, and I'm trying to create an environment that feels safe so that I can feel fully and deeply once again and allow my heart to be involved in making decisions and not give her shit, even if it goes not according to plan.
So you want to feel, but you're using your mind to make it safe for you to feel.
I'm letting my heart out slowly so that we can, it's kind of like, letting it out so that it's like if you were in a bubble your whole life and then you slowly come, you have to slowly get acclimated to the outside world so that you can build up your own immunity, your own kind of protection, while still being able to be out. And I feel like that's kind of what I'm doing now.
Okay.
Slowly but surely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel that.
Yeah. What about you?
Okay. So the impact for me is decisions.
Yeah.
We obviously I agree with you. I'm not a big fan of decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually I am. Okay. So I've come to realize that decisions are the cheat code to life.
Okay.
Decisions are propellers.
Mm.
So they move you forward or sometimes backwards,
Mm-hmm.
depending, or to the side,
mm-hmm.
Depending on the decision that you make.
Right.
So it's, the impact for me is that I've been practicing making more decisions and kind of, leaning on faith, so that I can live through the experience of that decision.
Okay.
Because, I actively tried to avoid making any decision. I was definitely the hang back and let's see what y'all are doing. That looks kind of good. I'll go with that.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a lot of consideration for what I really wanted. I kind of just went for what looked good, what looked safe, very mind heavy, but then my heart is also like, we don't like this.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is boring. And that's how like imposter syndrome starts to seep in.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you don't belong. And honestly, sometimes I feel like with imposter syndrome, maybe you really are an imposter and you don't belong there. But
not because you're not qualified, because you don't really want to.
Because you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and there's a disconnect. So your mind is saying, oh, it's because you don't know enough.
Yeah.
Or, oh, it's because you're not qualified. It's like, no, you're qualified. Like, you get it, but you don't get it deeply. You're not feeling it. You're not feeling it.
Yeah.
So I've just learned recently to try to feel things out and have those experiences. And they have been hard. So when you say you make hard decisions and you feel it, but, and it's terrible, like I get that, but I also get so much more from it. Like I get a innate understanding. I get a strengthening of my intuition when I make those hard decisions. That's saying I was out here just making hard decisions all the way through. But when I kind of couple it with my brain, when I try to get them to sync up and work together, which is called being in an alignment,
Come on, alignment. Okay.
It usually works out. And sometimes, there's some tears. But then afterwards, I could see things a little bit more clearly. Yeah. And I just know that avoiding making decisions is not the way.
Right.
Have you ever tried to play Monopoly and you haven't been able to roll the dice or make any turns and everybody's just going around the board and making decisions to buy stuff and you just stuck and your money just going? Maybe that's why my money's dwindling.
You ain't made no decisions.
What decision do I need to make?
Well, I have an investment opportunity you can go and invest in.
You want to talk about that on camera or off?
Nah. Later.
Okay. I will listen. I will acquire the knowledge to see if that's a decision I want to make.
That's hilarious.
Talk about it.
You're funny.
So that's been the impact for me. Decisions give me anxiety.
Yeah.
They give me anxiety, but I also know that as I work on making them more consistently, actively, and consciously, it gets better. You kind of get used to some of the discomfort.
Yeah.
The hardest part for me, though, is looking at myself and assessing what is true for me and kind of sorting out what's really for me. That's why I asked you that question. Like, are you being influenced to want some of these things, or have you just been exposed to it and you've acquired this information and now your mind is telling you you have to do something with it?
Yeah.
When really, maybe that wasn't for you.
Yeah.
So that's been a big impact, kind of sorting and figuring out what really is for me. They give you this blanket American dream scheme.
Yeah.
When you're 18, they're like, yeah, go chase this. But do you stop and think, do I really want this 4-bedroom house, this picket fence, this husband, this dog, this kid? Do I want that?
Right.
Like, is that how I want to spend my money?
Right.
You know, so I've been really questioning that lately, you know, especially now that I have to move. I'm like, do I want to live in an apartment? Do I
Yeah.
want to rent a house? Do I want to buy a house? Do I
Yeah.
want to live in my maxima? Can I fit in my maxima? Well, where will my dog sleep in the maxima? Where will
Yeah.
I put all my belongings? Well, maybe storage is only $65. I mean, I could probably stretch out in the maxima. What would people think about, you know, me sleeping in the max? Fuck them people.
Period.
I have window tints. They can't see me in the maxima. You know what I'm saying?
Period.
So
you can also trade in your Maxima for like a little van, so you have a little more space.
I could do that.
Like a little tiny beater van.
Honestly, though, like people, like the prices of vehicles right now have skyrocketed. Like
That's true.
fuck around, sell my Maxima, and be like, I could sleep on the ground. I could sleep right
I'm weak.
Maybe I can sleep at work. We got some space.
You can come out here, Rena. You don't gotta sleep on the ground. I got a couch. I got another piece of the bed.
It's not that I don't have money. It's not that I'm homeless. It's just like I be thinking sometimes I could pocket all this money I'm spending in rent. I really don't. The way you don't want to work is the way I don't want to pay for rent.
Yeah.
But I also don't want the responsibility of a house. So this is what goes into my decision making and the time it takes for me to make a decision. Yeah. I'm working on that. I am working on the efficiency because I could sit and stare at a wall and think about this on loop. And that's probably what I need to talk to my therapist about if she ever comes back.
Damn.
So yeah, options and choices, they confuse me. Yeah. I need to narrow it down and figure out what I want my life to look like. Mm-hmm. And what decisions are going to get me there. And it kind of block out everything else, what everybody else is saying I should be doing. That's really, that's the impact, because if I don't make a decision, I'm going to be stuck. I won't have any movement. I'm going to be in the same place. Yeah. And the way inflation is working, I cannot be in the same place. Yeah. I can't afford it. I got to move. In more ways than one. Yeah. Yeah. So that is impact piece right there.
That's real shit. Oh my God. Okay. So the ability to make decisions. Okay. We'll get to the recap in a minute. I'm kind of going over it in my head. I'm just like, the ability to make decisions is so impactful in our lives that we should have an entire class on what that looks like for each individual. And there's has to be, it's kind of like how you have not kinetic, the people who learn differently, you know, either you're physical, hands-on, or whatever. And I feel like that's probably the same thing could be said for decision making. Like, are you a practical decision maker? How do we help you when it's a hard decision? How do we help you if it's a logical decision and you make decisions with your heart? Like, how do we, you know, blend the two and combine them? But yeah, that's really interesting. If you don't make a decision, you'll be stuck. That's very true. Right. Now, how do we cope with all of this understanding? Well, I cope. I cope by first acknowledging that I have trouble with making emotional decisions. I cope by allowing space to feel as deeply as I can about a decision I've made and not feeling shame or putting shame on myself for not knowing better. I cope with grace and ease as I reparent my inner child and guide her to all the big emotions and letting them land safely with me so that I can continue to learn the balance between my heart and my mind. That is how I am coping.
You better let that big heart out to play, Jess.
I'm letting her out.
It's gonna be okay. Those tears, it's gonna be fine.
I know. I just cried recently, like a bitch.
It's okay.
I probably should just stop calling it being a bitch when I cry. So that's one thing I'm working on for real. It's just allowing it and just saying you're sad about it. It's okay. Just cry, feel it, and move on. You know, type thing. So
I'm gonna tell you this. Sometimes I just cry out of frustration of existing.
Wow.
I just be like, yo, there's something going on. Like, cause I just get so angry and I just get so mad that I'm here sometimes. And I'm like, you know what? I just need to cry. You know, I just need to grieve the fact that I exist, you know?
Oh, wow. Hell no. Okay. I feel it.
No, but like sometimes like I feel like crying can be very intentional and it's very clearing. And I don't know who told us that crying was bad. I mean, I guess because it's normally associated with some type of pain, but it's helpful. It's helpful. There's a whole bunch of people who are just pent up and just angry and aggressive just because they don't want to cry. I'm like, just release it. It's just a natural response. Something has made you sad. Something has hurt you. Release it. It's a release. It is. We need to release a lot of things, just in general. Like, honestly, that might be our next topic. How do we release?
Ooh, I'm down with it. How do we release? But how do we cope, actually? How do you cope?
By releasing. Really, seriously. Releasing other people's expectations, thoughts. So my whole thing was I cope by focusing on what decisions connect me overall, which I believe is movement and the ability to design my life instead of having life happen to me. You know, it gives me a little bit of control. Okay, maybe not control. Let's go with there's a better phrasing. It gives me the ability to co-create with the universe.
Ooh, I like that. Come on, co-create.
Because I'm not trying to control it. I'm trying to flow with it.
Yeah.
So I'm focusing on getting to know myself deeply.
Okay.
And being mindful of the feelings that come up in my body when I make decisions, because that is my intuition. That's how I know something's for me. So if the thought of something makes me want to throw up or tense up, I know it's not for me. Yeah. Observation and knowing what is for me is the key. It's the key for me. So that's how I cope, by observing what's for me, sorting through things, holding on to what's for me, and releasing the rest. There's a lot of stuff we're holding on to, I feel, that we feel like, we really need to get this. We really need to do this. We need to do this so we can be somebody, so we can be something. And it's like, you already are. So if you already know that you are you, that you're somebody, then what do you need? Right. What do you want to do? What decision do you want to make?
Right. That's beautiful. I love that. Wow. So I think the recap is that decisions can be scary if you are out of alignment. And so to align your heart and your mind is to be able to make a decision fully and freely. And that is something I will continue practicing and learning. I will continue to reparent my inner child and allow for those opportunities to make heart and mind decisions so that they are one. So that when I am making the decision, I am doing so boldly because I feel confident, not only in my mind, but also in my heart. And this was a really dope episode.
Yeah, this was fun.
I didn't know what to expect, but excuse me, I'm really glad we did this one. This one was dope.
Yeah, I think it's helped me. It's helped me a lot already. I'm just like,
same.
Got some decisions to make when I get off of this.
Decisions. Yeah, that's amazing. All right, well, do you have any shout outs for this episode?
I do. I have a little generic shout out.
Come on, generic.
I want to shout out to all the seniors making decisions on where they're going to college or where they're going to work or if they're working and just what they're going to do with their life. So shout out to you all.
Yeah, shout out.
I want to shout out to the people like me trying to decide where they're going to live in the next few months.
Amen.
Stay strong out here. You will find a place. And you know what? Grass is soft.
Weak. Okay. Okay.
It's just shout out to everyone because we are always making decisions. Just make sure that you are making them for you. That's my shout out.
That's really beautiful. That is an excellent shout out. I just want to shout out everybody who has felt that their heart led them astray to give your heart another chance. Give your heart another chance, another foray into the decision-making process. Try to align both your heart and your mind so that they are in collaboration. I like what you said. They are in collaboration with one another on the decisions that need to be made about your life because your heart is beautiful. It is sensitive and it is loving. And as much as I'm talking to you, I am talking to me. We can do this. Be strong, sensitive humans of the world. We got this. Yeah. So I think we are now to my favorite part. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. This is the meditation. If you're new here, what we do is take a couple deep breaths. We set an intention, take another couple breaths, and then I let you go about your day. So what I want you to do for me is to take a big deep breath We'll take a second deep breath. And we'll take one more deep breath. And now we'll set our intentions. I intend to align both my heart and my mind so that decision making feels good, feels intentional, feels like what it's meant for me.
All right, I love that.
Thank you.
It is my intention to continue to make decisions, and be open to the experience that decision brings. Because no matter how it works out, whether it's what I expected or a surprise, I'm gonna get what I need from it.
I love that. Okay, we'll take our last set of breaths. Take a big deep breath with me. We'll take a second deep breath. We'll take our last deep breath. All right, your intention have been set for the day. Go out there and flourish, sis. Today doesn't have to be a mess.
But it's okay if it is.
Show Liz, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in again. We appreciate your continued support. As we continue to make decisions every 2 weeks to do this podcast, we thank you for your decision to tune in, to fuck with us, to like our shit, to share with somebody, to tell somebody. It is really a great honor to continue to be able to do this for you guys. So if you have a topic idea that you would like us to dig down, you just know we're going to do it justice, please hit us up at itsamessespodcast@gmail.com. Also, if you ever would like to be a guest on the podcast, please also hit us up at itsamessespodcast@gmail.com. Is there anything else we need to add, Rena?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that another way to contact us is through Instagram. You know, pretty active on there. So IG is at itsamessespodcast. So you can DM us there, if you're not really into email.
Oh, that's a great idea. Wonderful. Thank you.
I don't know why. It just took us 65 episodes to do that.
We're learning. It's a mess, sis.
Right.
Is that every...
What is that?
I don't know what that was.
It's like something out of Thriller.
Oh my God. Is there anything else we need to let the people know?
No, that's it.
All right.
That's my final decision.
Okay, lovely. Well, we're going to catch y'all on the flip side. Peace. It's a mess.
Hey, that's why I can't sing.
It's okay. He's going to talk over my singing though. Okay, it's ready now.